And the American people do have other concerns that we ought to be thinking about and talking about.
Respectfully,
and
Madam Secretary, I think...
Well, let me finish.
Condoleezza Rice, one of the most accomplished and respected figures in American politics, didn't hold back during her appearance on The View. Sunny Hostin thought she had the upper hand, but Condi delivered sharp truths with her signature grace and intellect, leaving the panel completely unprepared. From discussions about race to education, and even the infamous January 6th debate, Condi's responses dismantled Sunny's points, one by one. Trust me, this showdown was nothing short of epic. But before we dive into the action, make sure to smash that like button and hit subscribe for more powerful moments like this. Did you just subscribe? Amazing. Let's get started.
Let me be very clear. I said at the time, January 6th was wrong. I called it an assault on law and order and an assault on our democratic processes. So full stop, it was wrong. Law enforcement will determine what happened there, and those who violated the law ought to be punished. Now, I think what Senator McConnell may be referencing is, yes, it's time to move on in a lot of ways. I'm one who believes that the American people are now concerned about their what we call kitchen table issues, the price of gasoline, inflation. We ought to move on to the next generation, move ahead and deal with the American people's issues.
It's really politically expedient for Mitch McConnell to say, let's move on, let's move on. The problem is that past will become prologue if we don't find out exactly what happened January 6th.
And we will.
So it's not time now.
We will find out.
We must find out before moving on.
We will find out. But I'm going to tell you, I live in California, not Washington, D.C. And the American people do have other concerns that we ought to be thinking about and talking about.
Respectfully, Madam Secretary, I think...
let me finish now, Sunny. I also know that as a government and as a country, we've got to be concerned about the things that are making life hard for Americans and hard for American families. First of all, parents ought to be involved in their children's education. Their children are in school 7 hours. That's a very formative period.
It all began with Sunny Hostin attempting to corner Condoleezza Rice on her views about January 6th. Sunny accused Condi of downplaying the significance of that day, hoping to paint her into a corner. But Condi, with her signature calm demeanor, swiftly countered by addressing the root issue. Yes, January 6th was a terrible assault on law and order, Condi admitted, making it clear she doesn't condone the violence. But then she pivoted, emphasizing what Americans are truly concerned about: skyrocketing gas prices, rising inflation, and economic struggles. Sunny interrupted, claiming, "The past will become prologue if we don't address it now." But Condi wasn't shaken. Instead, she delivered a line that had the audience clapping. The American people aren't worried about prologue. They're worried about their past due bills. Boom! Sunny struggled to redirect the conversation, but Condi stayed laser-focused, exposing the disconnect between the panel's priorities and everyday Americans.
Education. Their children are in school 7 hours. That's a very formative period. And I think parents ought to have a say. We used to have parent-teacher conferences. We used to have PTAs. There are lots of ways for parents to be involved, and they should be. My parents never thought I was going to grow up in a world without prejudice, but they also told me that's somebody else's problem, not yours. You're going to overcome it, and you are going to be anything you want to be. And that's the message that I think we ought to be sending to kids. One of the worries that I have about the way that we're talking about race is that it either seems so big that somehow white people now have to feel guilty for everything that happened in the past. I don't think that's very productive. Or black people have to feel disempowered by race. I would like black kids to be completely empowered, to know that they are beautiful in their blackness, but in order to do that, I don't have to make white kids feel bad for being white. It goes back to how we teach the history.
That's what I'm saying.
We teach the good and we teach the bad of history. But what we don't do is make 7- and 10-year-olds feel that they are somehow bad people because of the color of their skin. We've been through that, and we don't need to do that.
There are people who will say it feels worse now when we're talking about race, or it just feels like a divisive environment.
It sure doesn't feel worse than when I grew up in Jim Crow, Alabama. Okay, so let's drop this notion that we're worse at race relations today than we were in the past. Really? That means we've made no progress.
The debate shifted to education, And Condoleezza Rice truly shined. As a former educator herself, she passionately defended the role of parents in schools. Parents should absolutely have a say in their children's education, she stated firmly, referencing the importance of parental involvement in shaping young minds. Sunny, clearly agitated, attempted to downplay Condi's point, suggesting it oversimplified the challenges in modern education. But Condi wasn't done. She addressed the divisive narratives around race in schools, saying, "We should empower black kids to love their blackness, but that doesn't mean making white kids feel ashamed for being white." The room fell silent. Sunny, visibly uncomfortable, scrambled to respond. But Condi's clarity and conviction had already won over the audience. Sunny and the panel claimed that race relations in America are worse than ever. But Condi wasn't having it. Drawing from her own experiences growing up in Jim Crow, Alabama, Condi reminded everyone how far America has come. "Let's not pretend we haven't made progress," she said. "To say we're worse off today is to erase the sacrifices of those who came before us." Sunny's reaction was priceless. Her facial expressions told the whole story. Condi's lived experiences and facts left little room for debate, and the audience could sense her frustration. As the discussion progressed, Sunny's frustration boiled over. She accused Condi of avoiding critical issues and raised her voice in an attempt to dominate the conversation. But Condi's composure never wavered. "We need to focus on unity and empathy, not division," Condi calmly explained. "Americans are tired of being told what to think. They want solutions, not rhetoric." The audience erupted in applause, and Sunny's attempts to regain control fell flat. Even Whoopi Goldberg seemed eager to move on. Realizing the debate wasn't going in their favor, Condoleezza Rice's appearance on The View was nothing short of legendary. From calling out misplaced priorities to delivering hard-hitting truths about education and race, she proved why she's one of the most respected voices in American politics. But now it's your turn. What do you think about this fiery exchange? Did Condi deliver a much-needed reality check? Or do you think Sunny had valid points? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And before you leave, don't forget to subscribe if you want Condoleezza for president. Stay tuned for more viral takedowns, bold commentary, and epic debates. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.